Just when I thought the frigidness of it all this winter season was only outside here in Philadelphia, it seemed to seep into the Xfinity Mobile Arena, where the Philadelphia 76ers fell 112-108 to the Los Angeles Lakers behind Joel Embiid's cold, and I mean cold, shooting night. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers post-game show, live from the Xfinity studio. Rich, Devon, Bree with you, the president of basketball operations. All of you already have a lot to say in the chat. Cannot wait to speak with all of you. We'll try to effort and check in with Kyle and Derek from the arena. A lot going on there from the Sixers post-game responsibilities. And then when the Lakers are in town, and Rich can attest to this, you got to trickle down to the visiting locker room too, because LeBron is only here one time, and the same for Luka Doncic. So we'll see if we can speak to those guys. If not, tomorrow at 3 p.m., they'll be here right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. We are presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app. Make sure you use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. A ton to get to, including the player of the game. We'll do that a little bit later. We'll also get into the Ace Hardware temperature check, and we can get an unsung hero in here on this Sunday night as the Sixers snap their 3-game winning streak with this 4-point loss. Rich, we got to go to you immediately and get your thoughts on the main thing from tonight.
Devon,
frigid.
I think sometimes you just you look at the box score
and it tells the story.
35% shooting from the field. You're not going to win most nights. Honestly, that's pretty good that they were in the game and it was a clutch game. Without that, they shot really poorly, and I think it was a combination of guys missing open shots. I thought Joel Embiid, we can talk about his game. It was pretty interesting to me because I thought a lot of, we can talk about this because I know you might disagree a little bit. I thought a lot of his shots were within the flow of the offense. Yes, they're mostly jumpers, but that's what he is at this point, mostly a jump shooter. Just didn't make it, and it's kind of weird to watch Joel Embiid not be able to shoot the ball. Clearly, like, we've watched him all season, and we've watched him struggle athletically and not be able to post up and all of those different things. But usually the jumpers are money, and he just was off from three. He was off from mid-range. It was pretty crazy, and he ends up shooting, 4 for 21 on the night. Yeah, I mean, he was pretty cold. I thought Tyrese Maxey in the second quarter, or in the third quarter in particular, Sixers ran bad offense. We can talk about why the Sixers struggled, because I think there's something schematically to that they really do need to figure out. But it also felt like he kept getting into the mid-range and getting into his floater area, and he just missed shots, and I don't think all of them were bad shots. I thought the shot he took at the end, the 3-pointer when they were down 2, thought that was a little bit of hero ball at the end. That was a bad shot, and it was followed up by a turnover after it. So that wasn't great, but there was also just a lot of I don't know. He was pulling the string, and I don't know. The Lakers, Devon, they're a pretty big team. I'm looking at this right now. LeBron, big guy. Rui, big guy. Ayton, big guy. Luka, big guy. Again,
even Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes, and they can go to the bench. LaRavia, pretty big guy. So outside of Austin Reaves, there really aren't matchups to attack on that team. But yeah, I mean, you shoot 35% from the field. It's an offensive loss for sure. And look, there were other reasons they lost, like some great shot making by LeBron down the stretch. Some of those were open shots. A few of them, though, were just, you got to shake his hand. Like, he's hitting a step back jumper on you. That's pretty impressive. You know, we talked before the game about how most people are saying that LeBron looks old and he looks his age, and that might have been true in the previous games that he played. Did not look his age tonight. He looked like he was awesome tonight in terms of his shot making. So a lot of stuff going on, but the first thing that I go to is 35% from the field. That's a little bit of shot making, and it's a little bit of bad offense in the second half, but that's why you lost the game.
So I don't disagree with you. You said I might disagree with you on the Joel piece. Joel got good looks.
Mostly, right?
Mostly.
Yeah.
And my only thing when I referenced it to you, which maybe caused you to think that we would disagree on this one, was because I said, all right, enough on the 3-pointers. Okay. Because he couldn't get anything to go. And I didn't think that was the spot for him to get it. They kept leaving him open, and they were daring him to take it. He took it, and he was not making that shot. So what I wanted him to do was to continue to try to get those jumpers to potentially fall maybe from around 15 to 17, where, as you pointed out, we're so used to him making it. which is why I always frame it as that's a layup for him, because it has been for his entire career. But, man, when you get, and I remember you saying this in one of their recent games when they lost, when the team, I think it was the blowout to Orlando, when Orlando had, like, doubled them on field goal attempts. The Sixers tonight shot 17 more field goals than the Los Angeles Lakers. Bree just put the stats up on there. Bree, could you throw those up there again?
It's a good point, man.
Because these are...
They shot the same number of free throws, too. So.
Same number of free throws, and they made more, where Los Angeles missed 10 of those, where the Sixers only missed 3. They made the same amount of three-pointers, and they were, while they were only five misses, -5 and made field goals, they shot 17 more shots. Rebounding, 2 more rebounds. And we often talk about them either being just under or a big discrepancy in the rebounds outside of Andre Drummond helping out on the glass, of course. But tonight, for them to shoot the 35% from the floor, and also, Rich, only turned the ball over 5 times tonight.
Which has been an issue recently.
A fast pace, up and down the floor type of game, and they protected the basketball. And look, they're 3-1 in this 4-game stretch that we wanted them to say, hey, no worse than 2-2. But oftentimes when it's presented to you the way that it was for the Sixers to win an overtime game and to keep a close one in Milwaukee and win that game, and what they did to get here to this spot at 3-0, trying to win their 4th consecutive against a very good Los Angeles Lakers team at 16-6 before tonight. And this would have been a really good win for the 76ers. Now, I'm not panicking. I often am the one, and Rich and I are both 2 calm individuals. Sometimes we have different reactions. We agree a lot, but I think that's what makes it a good show too, because we disagree on some things, but we agree on a lot. And tonight we agree on this one, because all of those numbers that were there, you just simply had to watch the game and see how it played out, where the greatness of Luka Doncic showed itself. The greatness and the flashback for LeBron James after that 8-point performance in that win against Toronto and taking the next game off against Boston, where they lost that one. And you got a pedestrian game from Austin Reaves, but the pickup there was Rui Hachimura and DeAndre Ayton helping out where they did. Joel shooting 4 for 21. This was a winnable game that we thought would be a good one as we gave you the pregame show a few hours ago. And for them to lose this one, it stinks, because I thought they played well enough. Despite the fact that they didn't shoot it well, I thought defensively giving up just 112 points to this Lakers team, for them to protect the basketball the way that they did and to match them with the 3-point makes and the free throws, I just thought at the end they didn't execute it the way that they should have when they cut it to 2. It was 2 or 1. They cut it to 2, and they have 2 really good defensive possessions where LeBron missed, Luka missed in close, Austin Reaves missed another one. So it was 3 defensive possessions. They got the rebound, and they just went out and they could not make the basket. I thought Tyrese Maxey on the one play that Rich talked about with the bad layup miss, I thought he should have hit VJ Edgecombe in the middle of the floor as the floor was unbalanced, and you had the odd man advantage where you put the ball in the middle of the floor, make them make a decision on how to defend. They might dare the rookie to do something, and you need him to make a good decision. But I thought Maxey in that spot, while he got a okay look at the rim but it was one more of those tough angles against a lengthy team that you pointed out.
He struggled, yeah.
Where he didn't finish, and you let that man in the middle make the decision either to Maxey or George on the wing, and you figure it out from there. Then you go back the other way, and that's when Los Angeles makes a basket. So I just thought the execution down the stretch wasn't good enough, where we've seen them close out these games this season pretty well. Tonight, that did not happen, and they had a chance in this one. They were in this game, folks. They lose by 4. Free throws at the end by Luka, and LeBron hitting some tough, again, shots that he pulled back 5 years ago, where LeBron makes those shots. He has not made them quite often this season. He did so tonight, putting on a show at the arena in front of the Sixers crowd, sellout crowd once again. They were in this one, everybody. I'm not panicking. I'm not ticked off. I'm not going to raise my voice and go nuts on this one. I just thought the way the game played out, all the good things that they did, this one was tough for them to lose the way in the manner in which they did, again, giving themselves a chance at the end.
I think you pointing out the edge in shots is like, again, there are aspects of this game where the Sixers, I thought, outplayed the Lakers.
Absolutely.
Usually when you do that, you usually win. Okay, so let's talk about Joel Embiid, because I thought he sort of...
Can we just go temperature check on this right now?
Let's do it.
Because we can go Ace Hardware temperature check presented by Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Who's heating up? Who's cooling off? Rich, this is the epitome of what this segment is about. Man, was he cold.
He was ice cold from the field, but I will say, and this might not be popular, but the chat might not like it, I thought he played pretty good defense tonight, man. And, I thought, look, they were a major plus in his minutes tonight. And there were a couple stretches in the fourth quarter where...
Look at that number. It just doesn't look right, Rich.
Yeah, he just
does not
shoot.
look right.
Just could not make jumpers. Yeah. And look, some of this is that he doesn't get the easy baskets anymore. Like when you throw the ball to him on the block, he doesn't have the explosion to be able to finish, and he's got to work around that.
And the one that he did, remember when he put the ball on the floor and it was a layup and you were like, oh, Joe. Because we've seen him make that so many times.
Yeah. And he's getting the ball stripped out of his hands. So that's something that he's going to have to work around. And I think we knew that at that point. But yeah, I mean, the way he shot jumpers tonight, it was just, he's wide open on a lot of these shots. Like the idea that they were force feeding him. No, I thought these were mostly good shots within the flow of the offense. Hey, when the Lakers, when they play a drop coverage, he has to take those shots to keep the defense honest. So I thought his defense was, again, that's something we've been asking from him, is that this team might even need his defense more than his offense. I don't know. That's something that we've talked about over the first few months. This game makes me wonder if that's the case. Sometimes we have to recorrect our priors on that. But there were a couple plays down the stretch. He played 30 minutes in tonight's game. Is that the most he's played all year? Maybe the game last...
He did it already.
The game last week.
This number, yes.
Against Atlanta. But so there was a possession in the fourth quarter where a ball goes up and he boxes out DeAndre Ayton in a way you rarely see Joel Embiid box out. He basically boxes him out into the first row. And that was one where he was like, I'm getting the ball on the other end. And then he actually made the hang dribble jumper on one of those. He held up against Austin Reaves in one-on-one. And they got a Quentin Grimes 3 on the other end to get the stops turning into buckets on the other end. I thought his defense was better, but he just couldn't make a shot. And so I don't know if the defense is going to be a constant, because it's been so bad in the first few months of the season. But it's worth pointing out that I thought against a team that's not easy to guard, because you're guarding Luka Doncic and DeAndre Ayton, and they have shooters all over the place. And going up against Luka Doncic is impossible, because when he gets downhill in the pick and roll, you literally can only make bad decisions. It's, do you want to give up a layup to him? Do you want to give up a lob? Or do you want to give up an open three? And it's a very tricky subject against him. I thought Joel was pretty good on defense tonight.
He was. And that play that you talk about on Austin Reaves, where he was by himself on the island, this was with 2 minutes left in the game, where he defended him really well, forced a tough shot. And look, while Austin Reaves was not good tonight, Joel still had to stand up there because he can make that shot in the clutch. He's been in plenty of these spots where he has hit clutch shots for the Lakers with Reaves and James on the floor this season, and he did a really good job on that possession right there.
Part of the reason the shot outcomes were, as you cited, were close, because he was rebounding, he was getting stops. Outside of the third quarter, which we'll talk about that. Yeah. But no, I thought his defense was much improved against a difficult team. And I know it's not popular because people just want to blame him, because if he shoots a normal percentage on his shots, Sixers probably win by 6, 8, 10, maybe even tonight. If he's
4 for 21, even if he goes 7 or 8 for 21,
they're gonna win the game.
They probably win that game.
They're gonna win the game.
Yeah.
And but I thought his defense was pretty good tonight, and it's different. For the first few months of the season, whenever he played, his offense was actually pretty good outside of the Boston game, and his defense was abysmal. We were sitting here last week talking about that Atlanta game. I mean,
Sure.
I thought it was night and day compared to the Atlanta game last week. He was just much better on that end of the court. Wasn't perfect. That is a very difficult team to guard, particularly Luka. But I thought he was better. But the offense, again, when you shoot 4 of 21 and you have that jumper completely betray you, that's going to kill the team, and it really hurt him tonight for sure.
All right, so on those hang dribbles that we often talk about, and I call a layup for Joel Embiid in that 17-foot range area for him, he got some really good looks. These are the ones that we talked about previously on other shows where I said he wasn't taking enough of those. He was taking too many threes. He was trying to get to the basket, putting the ball on the floor. At that point, he was turning the ball over. He just flat out missed those. And I am not used to seeing him miss those at a percentage like in which he did. Again, just Bree putting that number up there, 4 for 21
so
next
bad.
to Joel Embiid just does not look right, because when we also watched it, 5 of those came from him forcing Jackson Hayes to back off of him, or Rui Hachimura getting caught on the switch, DeAndre Ayton, whomever the defender was, he got to that spot. And even when the shot wasn't falling early, I noticed that in the second half when this started, he decided immediately, all right, I'm going to put this ball on the floor and I'm going to get to my spot on the hang dribble. And he still missed it. Then he did it again, and he missed it again. Yeah. And that one was right there. I said, okay. Now, look, he made one at the end when they needed it. I think it put him back into 4 points. There was the deficit at that stage late in the fourth quarter, and he nailed it.
Did he tie?
Did he tie it, or was it 2?
That was a pick and roll with him and Maxey. It was pretty slow developing, and but
as soon as he got it, he knew exactly what he was doing. We knew exactly what he was going to do. He's going to take that shot, and he made it.
So the Lakers' coverage on that, I think, was telling, though, because he had been so cold. They were shading to Maxey.
100%.
They were plugging the rim. Like, we have seen teams cover him in the past when that shot has been automatic, and obviously when he's been moving better. We've seen teams give drivers the lane and say, the one thing we cannot give up is this free throw line jumper. And he and Maxey run this super clunky pick and roll. Maxey throws it to him, and he's still open because he had been so ice cold tonight. So honestly, man, like, if he shoots those shots in most of the games this year, if he's going to be that bad of a shooter, then fine. Yeah, he's going to be a disaster. I don't think he's that bad.
I don't think he's that bad either.
Yeah.
But tonight, again, winnable game, those probably win you the basketball game, because what they do then, if he makes 3 more of those, guess what? They're not shading the Maxey as much. They're pressing up on Joel once again, because they're not going to just give him that layup of a shot. Now, he might put the ball on the floor and then kick it off his foot, or turn the ball over dribble and do something there. But if he makes those, I do think that the flow of the game is a little bit different, where they might win it, or the Lakers have to do something totally different. And we could be talking about a loss still, but in a different way, where the story is told much, much differently than it is tonight. So that one with Joel and his bad shooting, that's our Ace Hardware Home Services. Who's heating up? Who's cooling off? That guy. Cooled off big time. 4 for 21 tonight for Joel Embiid. Make sure that you visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Whew. Haven't seen him shoot like that in a long time.
No, that was crazy.
Long time. Defense good. Made some really nice passes as well. Made some terrible passes too, where I thought he got lucky on a few of those. But the shooting is certainly one that's going to stand out when everyone talks about this basketball game. Vintage performance from LeBron James. We'll talk about him a little bit more. Luka Doncic with yet another triple-double, and man, was that easy. And Tyrese Maxey gets his 28 in the Sixers' loss, 112-108, snapping their 3-game winning streak. They're 13-10 on the campaign. Now they're off for the next 4 days before they host the Indiana Pacers on Friday back here in South Philadelphia. We'll come back. We'll talk about this game a little bit more from the Tyrese Maxey, Luka Doncic, LeBron James side, and some others that weren't so good in this one, which led to the 35% shooting night for the Philadelphia 76ers. It's the PHLY Sixers postgame show presented by Bet365.
Did you guys see those 2001 throwback jerseys that the Sixers had? Well, you know what else made me feel like I was back in 2001? Kyle Neubeck's Wi-Fi setup. Lagging, buffering, and switching between apps trying to find the game. I felt like I was back in the era of dial-up. He claimed that he was a big fan, but I felt like I was fan-fished. See, if you call yourself a basketball fan, you gotta have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. I can find the best games and my favorite teams all in one place. And the way that I watch, guys, it's next level. It's the perfect fan flex. I've got all the action right there in my living room. And Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So clear that it feels like I'm in the arena. Sometimes, too, I got 4 games going at once because why not? And on top of that, I got real-time notifications and live stats right there on my TV. It's the best seat in the house every single time. So next game day, unlike Kyle Neubeck, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
Hey, it's Devon, and if you know me a little bit, you know I don't like the cold. So this time of year, the heat has to crank up. Maybe you're like me. Is the cold air sneaking in? Is the heat not cranking like it should? Don't worry, Ace Hardware Home Services has got you and me. We've got us covered. From heating repairs to water heaters, plumbing, and electrical, their trusted local pros bring same helpful service you know from Ace right to your home. Whether it's a quick fix or a bigger winter project, they've got the tools, the know-how, and the people to get it done right. Ace Hardware Home Services, bringing helpful home to you. Make sure you get in. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com today to get started. Again, visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers postgame show, where the Sixers fall 112 to 108, snapping their 3-game winning streak. It's fun. It has been fun. They had a real chance. Again, the numbers, man, 35%, plus 17 in field goal attempts, but a -5 in makes, and even everywhere else, and they cut down their turnovers tonight. Tough loss for the Sixers tonight. Really good game, entertaining game. They kept themselves in it even when they got down. Of course, they found their way back into the game. But, Rich, let's jump into immediately the third quarter, as you talked about, because it happened again. And while I have always been one, and you're like, calm down, it's not as bad as it may seem with the third quarters. It's more of
I get it.
It's just more of it happened again. Now look, Joel.
Same story.
Joel was in the third quarter a lot, and he did not perform well, and he was a big culprit in all this in the third quarter. Joel in the third quarter was 0 for 3 in that when they shot 31%, 9 for 29. Rich, they got 10 more shots up in the third quarter than the Los Angeles Lakers, but the Lakers were 12 for 9. They made 4 of 9 from 3. Guess what? The Sixers matched their 4 of 9 from 3 in the third quarter. It was the twos that they could not make, and they did not turn the ball over in the third quarter. But the frigid shooting at 31% in the third quarter yet again went against them, where the Lakers eventually took a 10-point lead in the third quarter, where the Sixers led at the half by 7. And outside from Paul George, I believe, made a 3 early to give the Sixers their first made three-pointer, and then the Lakers just went on another run, as we've seen teams do against the Los Angeles Lakers. And as you just pointed out, it's the same story.
Yes. So third quarter I'm tired of talking about it, guys. Like, I agree. It is a disaster. Derek had the stats.
I saw he put this up
before tonight.
Yeah.
So they were the Sixers currently, and I think everybody knows this, but let's read it out so we can at least hammer the point home here. In the first quarter, Sixers, their net rating is plus 3.4. That's ranked 12th. Second quarter, plus 13.2. They're second. All right, pretty good. Pretty good first half. Fourth quarter, I'm going to skip ahead. We're going to go out of order here. Fourth quarter, plus 9.7. I think most people know that too. They've closed some of these games pretty well. That's also second. So they are second in the NBA in 2 of the 4 quarters. And the other one, they are above average. They're doing pretty well. Unfortunately, the Sixers are minus 22.6. And this is even before tonight, folks. This got a lot worse tonight. They are 29th in the league. I bet you after tonight, they're going to be behind New Orleans, because I looked at it, Devon. They were like neck and neck with the awful New Orleans Pelicans as the worst third quarter team in the league. They actually, they quote unquote salvaged this one to only lose it by 10 and not let it completely get out of hand. It was worse for a second there. There was a 23-7 run mixed in there at one point. And look, I'm of two minds on this. On one hand, part of my brain is saying, like, this is just random. Like, this will even out at some point. That said, we are almost a third into the season now, and the same thing keeps happening over and over and over. So I understand the frustration and the Groundhog Day element of this, because I'm frustrated too. I mean, the third quarter was a disaster. Now, I think there were reasons why the third quarter was a disaster. And I think the simple thing, and I got to hammer this point home, the Lakers basically switched everything in the third quarter. And the Sixers, they did run some stuff off the ball. It went to nowhere. It turns into an ISO. And they just got to be better against switches. And it's tough, because when the Sixers, on the other hand, they switch anything with the Lakers, it's a disaster because it's Luka Doncic against a small guy. There was one possession in particular where the Lakers were just hammering LeBron. They were hammering LeBron James screening either for Luka or for Austin Reaves. And there was one possession with Austin Reaves where the Sixers did switch. And guess what? LeBron took the small that was guarding Austin Reaves right to the basket for a layup. And it's just like the Sixers, unfortunately, because Joel is not that guy anymore, they don't have that guy that you can't switch against now. So it's a big issue for them. It's Nick Nurse's number one thing that he has to solve. Like they are too easy to switch against. They're off-ball actions. They're on-ball actions. That's why, like, I understand when people get frustrated when it just looks like a dribble handoff offense to nowhere. I don't think that's what a lot of tonight's game was, but it certainly has been for stretches of this season. They need to get better against switching, whether that's slipping the screen, having some other plays involved, because it's too easy to defend them. That makes them a stagnant offense. Like, watch the third quarter and watch how many screens the Lakers switch, guys. And so that's the biggest thing that the Sixers have to deal with. Look, I'm not defending anybody here. It's just they got to get better against it. And it's a little hard because they are a smaller team with limited shooting in the front court. Like, I mean, they did limited shooting. Joel Embiid is usually their only big man who can shoot. That's your 5 spot. Dominic Barlow, who I think is very, very good. The one small thing that he does that hurts you is that he can't shoot, and that limits your spacing a little bit. Now, I think he gives it back to you on a lot of nights with his defense and with his rebounding. But sometimes you're playing 2 guys who can't really shoot at the 4 and 5. They do get mucked up in some ways, and that's got to be the biggest thing that they do. But I am sick of them getting their doors blown out in the third quarter, and tonight was another example of that.
I think also, and it was good to see him on the bench. I don't know how many times we've seen him on the bench as of late, even though he was in street clothes. Man, I think they could have used Kelly Oubre tonight with some of that stuff, because even with the shooting, the lack of shooting, to your point, he's not afraid to put the ball on the floor, where we still have those questions of what Dominic Barlow has done some really good things when we're like, oh, look at that little jump hook, or look at that, put the ball on the floor, get to the basket, get a foul. I think Oubre would have helped out in some small way with that. To your point of...
By the way, real quick on that, I agree with you. One of the things that Kelly is the best at is when he gets a favorable matchup, and sometimes that's on a switch, and sometimes that's just the other team putting one of their weaker defenders because they want somebody on Tyrese and they want somebody on Paul George. He's pretty good at bullying smaller guys and getting into the mid-range. So I agree with your point on that one.
To your point of we're all tired of talking about the third quarter, and as you said, maybe this is just a trend that's just going to go away. The problem is we're now at game number 23, and it happened again. For Rich to have to read those numbers out, those are awful numbers. For Rich to put the Sixers up with the Pelicans in any category, that is terrible.
It's not good.
Because of what the third quarter is.
It's bad.
And so when we're 23 games in, you want to give them that, especially when they were looking to go 5 games over 500 there tonight, looking to push themselves up to possibly number 4 in the Eastern Conference standings before this loss, that, hey, this is something that is there. They have to find a way to correct it, but look at what they're still doing very good to put themselves there. Still 3 games over 500, still tied for, 4th, 5th place, in the 5th and 6th place for the Eastern Conference standings. So they're still there, and they get this little break, much needed break. Hopefully that will also help get some players back on the floor. But man, is that frustrating to sit there and watch it happen again. Because, Rich, it's always one thing. It's one thing when you have a trend and the same thing happens. It's different things happen in the third quarter that causes them to lose these turnovers. They didn't turn the ball over in the third quarter tonight.
Tonight was just not
We've
getting
seen
good
them
shots.
turn the ball over in the third quarter, get out-rebounded in the third quarter. They were really good on the glass tonight and things of that nature. And they might make shots, but their defense just simply isn't good enough in the third quarter, and they just still get blown off the floor in the third quarter and have to come back in the fourth, which they have done 20 times out of the season for where we are.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Why is it the
and
same
that's why
script
it's
every
still
game?
there, because there's we can put Rich is the writer, so I will help him just put the book together. But we can have a 23-page book, and when we do the book, every page will be something different, but with the same result, where they lost in the third quarter. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's bad.
Unbelievable.
And look, people are screaming that that Nurse is at fault here. He's like, look, at some point you do have to fix this part of the game. He's
charge.
He's the coach for the good parts of the game as well, and that should be mentioned. But like, enough with the
fix it.
The third quarter is being a disaster. And I would say tonight, Devon, outside of the Sixers getting switched and running bad offense, a couple other things happened involved. One of them was not their fault, and that was LeBron. Like, he made a couple of ridiculous shots on that stretch against pretty good defense by Barlow. And, he
was 3 for 3, and including a 3-pointer for 7 points in the frame.
Barlow is a guy who I think is a really good one-on-one defender, and I've been really impressed with. He's guarded some of the better players in the league.
Yeah.
And I think LeBron was like 4 of 5 or 4 of 6 on him. Like, he
was good against everybody else.
He wasn't
LeBron that was the problem.
Well, Luka did get him on one step back 3, but yeah, and it's funny. So what do you make of that, by the way? I thought that was interesting that the matchups before the game, we thought that Barlow was going to see the Luka matchup. Instead, they basically put him on LeBron for most of the game, and the Luka matchup was mostly Grimes. VJ was the main guy who was guarding him. Grimes got a lot of that matchup. Those were the two.
George got some.
Got some. Those were the two main guys. They went with the smaller guys against Luka. And look, I probably would have went with Barlow against Luka because, like, look, he's as good as LeBron played tonight. Luka Doncic is the head of the snake, like for sure.
100%.
He's the guy that's going to be able to make all the plays. But they went with the smaller guys, and Luka, I thought he shot over those guys pretty well for most of the game. The Sixers did get that turnover when Joel trapped him at the end of the game, and I thought they were going to be able to take advantage, but couldn't score on the other end after that one. But yeah, they went with the smaller guys on Luka. What'd you make of that?
So I thought, and it kind of negates a little bit of the speed conversation that I wanted to talk about with that, because Barlow, for what he does at that position, has decent enough speed and has good hands. I thought that they wanted to have some speed with him out there with Luka Doncic coming off of this little layoff where, look, he wasn't shooting the basketball. He was worried about his family. And, hey, could he get out there? Can we disrupt him a little bit? Is he going to be a little bit off? And we can have that advantage where we can also then leak out and get some things happen on a missed shot, maybe force a couple of turnovers just because of the pressuring him in that way outside of the length that Barlow does. But with the pressure that we know Edgecombe and Grimes did try to put on him in that third quarter, or just in general from the start of the game, because he got VJ on one of the, here you go, Rook. Put your hand in there.
Yeah.
Boom, I'm going right up.
That was funny.
That was really funny. But that's what I thought he was trying to do, Nick Nurse and the defensive staff. I thought they were just trying to have some speed, some quickness with him, where it's a no-doubter. And even though Edgecombe doesn't have the experience, Barlow has more experience in the NBA, certainly probably playing against Luka Doncic and its other stops. And I thought they wanted to go there, even with the giving up the height. I thought that he wanted to use that quickness, that speed at the guard position instead of having that. And I do wonder, though, because of the matchups of the others that are out there with him, that it's easier to put those guys there versus putting them on LeBron James. And while you certainly could do so.
Luka has to bring the ball up. So
yes, and Tyrese Maxey, you can't have him there, so he has to go somewhere else. So that's what I think, and that's what I thought. That's why they did what they did.
Maxey, pretty similar to Embiid, where I thought he was a little bit down for his standpoint. Just real quick, I thought he played pretty good defense on Austin Reaves for a lot of the game. Like, look, Austin Reaves missed a lot of shots too. I think you could put him not quite in the Joel category, but
much better matchup than Doncic.
3 of 16, and I thought Tyrese played pretty hard, good defense against him,
yeah.
And that was his main matchup, which is that's some real responsibility. They run a lot of stuff through him. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough team to play against because they're so big and they have 2 6'8", 6'9" guys who really make it tough on you. And I think they could have played Barlow a little bit more down the stretch. Now, down the stretch, they went with the 3 guards. They went with PG. They went with Drummond and then Embiid for the last few minutes. The 4 and 5, or the 2 5s were the only ones that switched for the most part. I thought they were trying to get offense. Like, I think when you have a player like Barlow, there is a little bit of an offense-defense push-pull where I think the defense is better, but the offense can be a little clunky with him on the court. I don't know. It's a tough one. The Lakers are matchup nightmares in that regard, right? They have 2 guys who can they have 3 guys who can dribble, pass, shoot, do all that stuff. Luka, some of the passes, I know he just got off a 15-hour flight from Slovenia or whatever. man, some of the passes he makes, it's just outrageous.
That one we looked at each other to Rui Hachimura in the corner from the sideline at the hash mark.
That's like a 50-foot pass across.
The cross-court pass that you're taught, don't do that. Don't do that.
And it's just like
on the money.
He is a different guy than almost anybody in the league, where the Sixers are playing normal pick and roll coverage. They're not even playing bad pick and roll coverage for anybody except Luka Doncic. But unfortunately, he makes you wrong. And they're a tough team.
Yeah.
I think that one last thing real quick before we go to a break here, that the way you beat the Lakers, and they didn't do it enough, is that you run on them, right? They're old. They're a little slow. LeBron doesn't like getting back on defense. Luka doesn't like getting back on defense.
Right.
We saw that in the first quarter, by the way. That's when the Sixers offense looked at its best. They were getting stuff out in transition. They were getting cross match. Like DeAndre Ayton is the one picking up Tyrese Maxey. I'm like, well, that's the Lakers' issue, right? That's what's holding them back from being a true title contender. Is I don't know against the best teams if they can play 48 minutes of decent enough defense. But on the other end of the court, they make it pretty tough for you. And I didn't really think JJ got all that fancy with a lot of his plays. Like it was just hunt the mismatch for most of it. I thought, so basically they had Grimes on Luka at the end, and then they had PG on LeBron. I wish they did a little bit better of a job kind of switching the matchup there. That felt like a matchup you can switch, where it's like, if LeBron's going to make that step back jumper he made at the end, that was one where I was like, all right, you got to just shake his hand on that one.
And that was over Grimes.
Yeah, that was over Grimes.
Yeah.
Oh, well. But they did botch one of those switches where LeBron got a pretty easy three on that. That's a good shot. Got to shake his hand.
Got to shake his hand on that one. Yeah. You know who we talked about him just a little bit earlier of how he would have helped on some of those closeouts on the outside? He would have helped on the other end too. Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
That's
why he helps.
His assignment, it would have been Luka from the start. All right, we come back. We got to talk more about the third quarter because it was something I wanted to throw at Rich about the third quarter. We'll get to the unsung hero as well. Sixers lose 112-108, 4 days off. 13-10 on the season. Not bad, though, through 23 games. We'll talk about it much, much more right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show. Everybody's got their favorite hard tea, right? But have you ever turned the can around to read it? Well, you can't because they don't tell you. And while they hide what's inside, Crooked Tea brings about it. They let you know Crooked Tea brews real USDA organic tea for real flavor with zero sugar. No fake junk hiding behind the label. What you see is what you drink. And as you get ready for your hopefully celebratory drink tomorrow night when your Birds play some football on Monday Night Action, you got to make sure that while you're in the store, the next time you're in there, turn around and flip the can. If you can't find the ingredients, just put it back because you want to have the right thing, and that is Crooked Tea. Grab that Crooked Tea, zero sugar, real tea, and fully transparent. You know it, Philly. Real recognizes real, so why drink the fake stuff? Crooked Tea. The only thing better is a strip sack in the Super Bowl or even Monday Night Football. Visit crookedtea.com to find a store near you.
Do we really want Tyrese Maxey playing center? No, it's not worth the risk, time, or money. You keep your stars focused doing on what they do best. And the same, it goes for your business. You don't want your top people buried in operations, the tedious, time-consuming, redundant activities that wear the team down. That's why you go to Togo. They can help any business looking to reduce operating costs, become more efficient, or unlock more time for their best people. From customer service and accounting to order management, logistics, admin, data entry, and even complex multi-step operational processes, they take it off your plate at a fraction of the cost. And each Togo program includes dedicated staff, custom automations, and US-based process engineers who act as your quarterback, giving you complete control, total transparency, and instant efficiency. At Togo, you call the plays and they execute. Visit harnesstogo.com, scale smarter, work faster, and stay focused on winning.
And we're back here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show. Rich, Devon, Bree, all of you, thanks for checking in with us. We got to get to the unsung hero tonight, presented by Togo. Yes, Togo. They got you covered with everything that you need in terms of making sure that, hey, you put in the work and it's not working out for you all. Guess what? They've got it covered for you. The leader in operations outsourcing. Rich, the unsung hero of the night is, for you,
VJ Edgecombe.
Let's do it.
I thought he played well, man. They were running some of that Spain pick and roll with him. Like he was getting to his left. There were a couple of possessions, and there was one in the third quarter when they were just getting their butts kicked. And the Lakers did not pick him up in transition because the Lakers don't ever really pick anybody up in transition. And he put his head down and got all the way to the rim. I don't know. I thought it was a hard playing game for VJ. Had the Luka assignment for a decent amount, right? He and Grimes sort of split that. But I thought he was pretty good. And to see him play 38 minutes, obviously with the calf injury, that's something that he has not really done yet. I wonder if the Sixers said, he's going to have 3 or 4 days off here to be able to rest. Nice to see that he looked good. And he was up there. Didn't he get a goaltending at the very end of the game, too?
Yeah,
he flew in for a rebound. Yeah. So good to see that he had the energy to still play hard at the end of the game. I thought he was pretty good.
This is part of my point, Rich, where I trusted him tonight with the minutes that he had out there on the floor. He got in that early foul trouble where he picked up the quick 2, and you're like, all right, you got to be careful. And I thought he was smart with what he did out there on the floor. Grimes, McCain came in. We'll talk about McCain here shortly, but this is part of the reason why I said when they had that run there in the fourth and Maxey had the ball on the wing and he did not give Edgecombe the ball in the middle of the floor, because I thought Edgecombe had made good decisions all night long. Finished with like 4 or 5 assists tonight out there. So I thought he made pretty decent decisions. I didn't think he over-dribbled. I thought he took really good shots when it was timely for them to take those shots. He had 3 assists, 5 boards on the night, 5 for 13 from the floor. But I don't even think that 5 for 13, where we look at the 4 for 21 for Embiid, where it looked so different than what we saw from Edgecombe with his 5 for 13. And the activity, the energy, the shot attempts, again, Embiid's were good. I thought Edgecombe's shots were pretty good too. I didn't think he jumped into too much traffic. I didn't think he shot it too early against the clock when they had much better possessions. I thought he made the extra pass like he always does for a much better shot. He was good tonight. And again, I wanted Maxey to give the ball up to him in that, because the one that he missed, Rich, on that three-pointer, we talked about the missed layup and the three-pointer that he missed. Edgecombe is the one who sucked the defense into the paint and made the tough pass, cross body back over to Tyrese Maxey for that three-pointer that he missed badly. We've seen him make it a ton this year, so it's not, make the shot, but we're not going to kill you because you've done it all year. Edgecombe was the one who made that pass. Edgecombe was the one who pulled that defense into the paint to give him enough space and opportunity to take that shot. The kid was good tonight, and I agree with you. They said, you know what? We're going to spill the bucket. Leave it all out there on the floor because we have 4 days off. We don't have to get on the plane to go anywhere for a game, and we don't play until Friday, so let's have at it.
I thought he got to his spots in most of the game. He missed a few mid-range jumpers in the middle of the game, but thought he got to his spots and looked good. I mean, I thought they had a Du Thiero on him for a little bit. He's a rookie, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought he looked comfortable against him as well.
A couple picks after Janai Broom in the June's draft.
We don't have to go there tonight. We got people too frustrated about too much stuff.
Just pointing that out.
We don't need to get there.
Just pointing that out. But no, he was good tonight, and it was good to see him play the way that he did. And not only that, Rich, like we talked about pregame, you could feel it through the television, the buzz about this game. He was there for the moment. He stepped up in the moment because he came out and he hit those shots early, man. We were like, oh, VJ came to play. He's ready to go. And I thought he was good tonight. I thought he was good defensively. I thought his activity was good. Didn't seem like he was worried too much about the calf with the extended minutes once again. Worthy of the unsung hero tonight. Normally we don't give him that. He's a player of the game, or we just simply talk about him, but unsung hero for sure tonight. And VJ Edgecombe, the unsung hero, presented by Togo, the leader in operations outsourcing. Let Togo handle the work that gets in the way of your work. You call the plays, we execute here at Togo. All right.
So there's one thing I want to tell you, because VJ, I think, is the perfect person to contrast with the guy I want to bring up, who we talked about at the break.
All right.
Is it?
Well, let's do that on the other side. Great segue, because we're going to talk about that other guy on the other side. VJ good? Damn, not so much for the other one.
Well, we'll talk about it. Maybe it's not his fault.
Maybe it's not his fault. Partly not his fault. But we'll get to him on the other side. We will give you certainly some more to discuss with this game. Sixers lose by 4. They're now 13-10. 4 days off. Get a little break.
Little break.
Nice little start to the season. We'll discuss the rest, Some super chats as well right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show. Well, your football team is playing in Los Angeles. You're living out there, and you said, you know what, last minute, I think I want to go to the game and check out my team. They're only out here maybe a couple of times over the next 5 years. Let me go check out the football team taking on Los Angeles. Well, the Game Time app, that should be the place for you. We've here on the PHLY Sixers podcast have taken advantage while in Las Vegas and to go see multiple shows out there. Also done it here and spreading the word to family and friends for specific things that are happening in the area, even extending it beyond maybe to New York for some shows as well. Well, that's where Game Time comes in. Fees are included, but you know what? Your total is up front with no surprises with those fees at checkout. Save even more when you choose the section and let Game Time choose the seats for you. They don't block the area. You get to see the view to make sure that there's nothing blocking your view to the great entertainment that you're looking for. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy it, and the lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying soccer tickets right now with World Cup with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Swipe, tap, tickets to go. Download the Game Time app today.
Hey parents, the holidays are coming fast, and it's the perfect time to teach your kids a little something about money, and Greenlight makes it easy. Greenlight is the all-in-one money app and debit card made just for families. It helps kids learn to spend wisely for what matters and build smart money habits, all with you, the parent, calling the plays. And here's the best part. TrueMark Financial Credit Union members get a free custom card with their free Greenlight subscription. That's an $80 value. Not a member yet? No problem. You can get an account online at any of TrueMark Financial's 24 branch locations and score this exclusive offer. With Greenlight, you'll get real-time spending alerts, easy controls, and instant on-off switch for your kids' cards. Plus, kids can earn on their savings and manage chores and allowance right there in the app. So make this holiday season a win. Visit TrueMark.com/Greenlight for all the details to get started today. TrueMark Financial Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Prophet One in the chat says, that game was winnable. Yes, it was, Prophet One. It sure was. Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers post-game show presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment's never ordinary at Bet365. All right, let's get to the other guy, the other guard that we wanted to talk about. I'm guessing you wanted to talk about Jared McCain because I wanted to talk to you about Jared McCain in the third quarter. He was not in the third quarter.
Did he play at all? I guess he must have played a little bit in the second half, but he played 13 minutes overall.
In the fourth quarter, he played 3 minutes and 26 seconds, 0 for 2 from the floor.
Was a very forgettable cameo. So he barely played. I thought in the first half, Jared McCain had some pretty good moments. I think he was 3 for 5 from the field in the first half. He had a couple of nice plays with Embiid where they were overplaying Jared McCain's right hand, and he got to his left, one via dribble handoff and one via pick and roll, rejecting the screen. That's what he can do, right? Like, that's what he can do. He had a nice hesitation and drive move. He's pretty good. When he gets moving in transition, like, obviously he's not the quickest guy in the world, but when he gets ahead of steam in transition, he's a much more effective driver, and he basically bullied Gabe Vincent to the rim on one of those early. We talked about the Sixers' issues with scoring. I don't think when they were in a zone or whatever the Lakers were doing to switch, I don't think it would have been automatic that he would have solved things, but they really struggled to score. And Nick Nurse, it's interesting. I think the fact that VJ plays 38 minutes and McCain only plays 13 minutes, it's not every single game, but there's a dichotomy there where the way those two guys are handled is different, where it's clear that the Sixers and Nick Nurse are comfortable playing VJ Edgecombe a ton of minutes. And even when VJ is struggling from the field, which I thought he was pretty good tonight with this floor game, but like the Warriors game the other night, there's a reason he's on the floor at the end of the game, because I think whether it's Nick Nurse or Daryl Morey or whoever is making those decisions, probably Nick Nurse if we're being honest, I think they're just, we like VJ's two-way game and we'll deal with the offensive struggles from a rookie because his defense is good and he makes winning plays on that regard. Jared doesn't make quite as many plays in that regard, but he's a more polished offensive player for sure. And he often gets the quick hook in the first half. And so, Nick Nurse after the game, he mentioned that the reason he didn't really play was that he didn't like the defensive matchups with McCain, which I understand. I understand where the Sixers, we talked about how Luka and LeBron want to hunt the matchup. Well, if Jared McCain is out there, they're going to hunt him.
And it wasn't even those two. I remember one foul where they had Jake LaRavia in the paint, and they tried to quick inbound to him, entry pass, and McCain picked up a foul, tried to reach around, and understandably so. He's 6'2", and he's trying to quick. A lot of times with the smaller guard, you try to either jump the pass and jump in front of them, or you just simply try to tip it away from behind before it even gets in his hands, and he got caught on. So everyone was trying to hunt him. So to your point of the quote, I was going to ask you, did you simply think it was about the size that you brought up earlier about this is a big basketball team?
Well,
aside from the Vincent part of it.
True, and I wonder if it was just this game where that happened.
Just today, yes.
Then I think I'd say, all right, that was just one game. Maybe it got away from him. He wasn't feeling
fair,
Jared.
Okay.
But it's happened in a few of these games. And so it's interesting because, guys, look, Jared McCain is a young second-year player who was excellent as a rookie. I think we all know that he was a little slow coming off the knee injury this year. I mean, it was really a thumb injury. But yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, and I'm not saying it's right. I hope they find a way where they're able to play him in these high-level games 25 minutes or whatever and just not get away from him in the second half because, yes, he is a small player, but he could do a lot with the ball in his hands. So I wish he would have played more than that. Now, look, I don't think it was a zone in that regard where he could have just busted it, just busted the zone with open threes, because I don't think the Lakers were really giving up those open threes with the zone. They were making Tyrese Maxey drive into the mid-range for the most part. But Jared McCain is also a player who's able to beat you in the mid-range as well. So, yeah, that's interesting. I don't love it. I understand the rationale.
Something to monitor.
I understand the rationale a little bit, but I also think at some point he's a very talented player and that wins out. So I hope that'll be something. But it's also something we've seen with VJ Edgecombe is the guy on the second unit, even tonight. They give him the ball when Jared McCain is out there. Jared McCain is mostly in the corner, mostly off the ball. I understand why they're doing it with VJ Edgecombe because, hey, if you think VJ Edgecombe is a high ceiling player, you took him third in the draft, you got a lot invested in him, but you're going to give him the ball. You got to let him work through his mistakes in hopes that he'll get better on the ball. The only way to learn is by doing it. But Jared McCain, it feels like a lot of that has come at his expense. And I don't know what the right balance is, but I'd like to see maybe it tilted more in Jared McCain's direction.
Let's see what he does against the Indiana Pacers next Friday when the Sixers are back on the floor after the break and hosting Pascal Siakam, Andrew Nembhard, Ben Mathurin, TJ McConnell, and the Indiana Pacers here after the NBA Cup knockout round break. All right, let's get to the Super Chats here. Great stuff on Jared McCain, something for us to continue to watch. Let's start off with Marcus Blackstock. 4 for 21 with open shots from Joel was inexcusable.
I agree. I thought they were mostly open, and I don't know. I don't like the love our chatters for the most part. Love them, but I do think making it seem like most of Joel's shots tonight were selfish and just not the offense and the ball finding him and open. I thought they were pretty good shots. You know what's one example of him not taking a good shot? He got Reaves on a switch in the fourth quarter at the end of the game. That was a bad possession. He threw up some garbage in the middle of the lane. That's the type of stuff that he used to be able to do. That type of shot you cannot have. Bad shot there from him. Most of the other shots, guys, they're open. He's just pulling the string on them. So that's how I saw it for the most part. But obviously you can't have that shot from Joel. And 4 of 21, Marcus saying it's inexcusable. Yeah, you're going to lose the game when he shoots 4 of 21. It's bad.
It's bad. It's bad. All right, let's get to Bernard McCoy. Sort of primetime game in Embiid and PG. We're trying to turn back the clock along with Drummond. Not enough youth in the game for the Sixers. Old.
Well, that's the Jared point, right?
Yep. That was part of the point on the Lakers side, too, where you said, guess what? They had old guys, too. Sixers should have run a little bit more. Yeah.
They should run. That's the big thing.
Yeah, should run a little bit more. You got VJ out there for 38 minutes, Tyrese Maxey. Of course, Dominic Barlow, Quentin Grimes, Jared McCain.
It's hard to run when you play 39 minutes, though.
Fair.
Look,
Jared McCain.
They
Put him
gotta
out
do it.
there.
Well, yeah.
Run.
I mean, hey, look, he only played 13 minutes. He should have been able to run.
Saw some people brought up Bona in there as well. So there's that with Bona. Thanks, Bernard. Appreciate that with the super chat. And James Alexander III says Joel Embiid needs to play down low in the key, in the paint, on the low block. We don't disagree that he should sometimes. He has some open looks tonight. But when you're missing, you got to find a way to get some things to go for you. Yeah, maybe get a couple of in close, get a layup or two, get an opportunity there, and guess what? Now you open things up where you might be able to knock down your shot that you feel comfortable at that 15, 17 from the elbow. Money every time. It wasn't money tonight.
Yeah.
It was not. He owed money tonight.
Two other things I just wanted to mention.
Thank you for the super chat, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Tyrese Maxey in the first quarter. Is that the most mad you've ever seen him?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
He looked like he was going to kill that ref, man.
I don't even know who the ref was. Let me see. I'm going to look at the names because I think it was Ransom who he was yelling at.
Zach Zarba was the crew chief, but he wasn't really yelling at it.
No, he wasn't. So Zach Zarba, I know. Carl Lane, I know. So it was Ransom was the guy, number 70. That was his last name. Fenezi Ransom.
Man.
I said to Rich at the moment, I don't know who that guy is.
I wonder if Tyrese was saying, I don't know who you are either. What the heck? And
then later on,
he was right. Austin Reaves did foul him on that possession.
Right.
And Jackson. So it was one of those plays where Austin Reaves fouls him. It's a clear foul. He puts up a layup. Jackson Hayes swatted it about as far as I've ever seen a ball get swatted. And I think Tyrese was like, I got fouled, man. Like I was just throwing that shot up because I got fouled. I should be at the free throw line. And he just, man, they've really... Yeah, and Bree has it up for us. Thank you, Bree.
Jackson Hayes is barking to the crowd.
Look at him, the fist pump right in the guy's face. That's usually an automatic.
That's automatic, yeah. But see, that again, the ref is maybe trying to hold back a little bit and not tee him up because he understands how emotional the play was or whatever. But that's also a new guy where maybe Tyrese is like, yo, man. And then later, he got fouled on an attempt. He made it. It was a mid-range. He made it, falling backwards. Ayton fouled him. They didn't call it, but he made the shot.
Yeah.
Going back the other way, Tyrese referenced to the official. It was Zach Zarba. Timeout Lakers. He's talking to Zach Zarba. He's like, Zach, and he and Zach Zarba start talking. He said, which one are you talking? You could kind of tell what they were. And Zarba patted him on his chest and was like, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was crazy. And I thought
he's going to get thrown out.
Who was that? Was that Doug West who was holding him back for a while? Oh my God. Like he was going to bite that guy's head off. No, I don't know. It was
Ransom.
Interesting to see, but I understand
Fenezi
being mad at that possession because I was like, man, Tyrese, please don't get thrown out, man, because you could win this game.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great one. What was the last one that you wanted to bring up?
Oh, the drone camera. Come on, man. There's some of the game that we missed.
It was not good.
Come on. We couldn't see anything.
We could not see.
There was a big LeBron 3 at the end of the game. I don't know what happened on that play. I think I saw that Luka forced the switch or whatever, but.
And I had my glasses on, y'all, and I still couldn't see it.
Oh, doing that for big possessions. God, throw that thing on the garbage. You think Bodner was running that thing?
I think so. Yeah. He's in favor of it. We're the ones like, no, get that out of here. We want the regular view. Like when we're playing 2K, right? You just want the regular view. We don't need anything fancy. Man, it was tough to see on those possessions where they switched.
Look,
yeah.
I'm all for innovation, but man, throw that thing away.
I disagree with that one. All right, quick overtime, everybody. As we wrap up the show, we appreciate everyone for hanging out with us here on the show. We really, really appreciate it. Head on over to allphly.com. Thank you on the television side on the Fast Channel. See you tomorrow, everybody, at 3 o'clock right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. So, schedule for the week, everybody, because... Look.
Not a lot of games.
Not a lot of games. Got 2 games next week with the Friday and Sunday games because the Sixers are not partaking. I think we knew. They're not partaking in the NBA Cup. They don't care. They do not care about the NBA Cup. Here's the schedule for the week, everybody. Sixers show here on Monday and Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, everybody. So Wednesday is the off day for the show, and so is Saturday. So you have 3 p.m. shows Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, pregame. That will be on Friday, where Rich and I get back together here with Bree and all of you, and we begin at 7 o'clock, I think it is, for the pregame, right here on the PHLY Sixers pregame show. So once again, Monday, Tuesday, 3 p.m. shows, same for Thursday, off Wednesday, game Friday, off on Saturday, game on Sunday for the Sixers.
Yeah.
So nice little break.
We'll be here on Friday night. We will.
Nice little break. Nice little break. All right, let's get ready to say goodnight to everyone because we really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button, like and subscribe to the show.
Make sure you hit the like.
All that stuff, please hit the like button, pass it along, let everybody know, 3 p.m. show. I also have to tell everybody, as I'm saying, come on in for the 3 p.m. shows. I'm off for a couple of days. I took a couple of days off, so I'm off Monday,
you deserve it, buddy.
Tuesday, and then Wednesday because the whole show is off. But Monday and Tuesday, Derek and Kyle, I'll be back with them on Thursday right here on the show, and then Rich and I and Bree on Friday for the pregame. So I'll be off Monday and Tuesday. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Need a little break. Take a little break, all that. All right, let's get ready to say goodnight to everybody by checking in. Going to the world famous. It's the roll call.
Lively chat. Appreciate everybody.
Lively chat. See my mom in there. She says, good job, guys. Bree, be safe getting home.
Hi, Mom.
Thank you. I know she'll make sure to check. Did you get home? Right? That's how it goes. PHLY guy, what up? PHLY guy, Jack Reacher, Philly Star. Philly Star said, yeah, I was screaming at my TV. Tyrese, give the ball to VJ in the middle of the floor. Let him make a play. Hey, it happens, right? Appreciate the interaction in the chat. We see Nona. Saw Val and Jess in the pregame. Hey, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
Good to talk to you as well. As always, we appreciate you jumping in here. As usual, Media Fan Dan. I see, yo, mama.
Yo, mama.
195. Yo, mama. What's going on?
It's 194 yo mamas before you.
Yes, it was. What up, yo mama? We see Vic in the chat. Vino Wines, James. We got James Alexander, Bernard McCoy on the Super Chats as well. Who was the third Super Chat there?
We had Bernard, we had James, and we had
Marcus. Blackstock. What up, Mark?
Hello, Marcus.
John Peace. Haven't seen John Peace in there in a while.
Peace, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, Peace. As always, great to see you. We also had in here Yams.
What up, Yams?
X-Man.
What up,
Throw it up for the X. What up, X-Man? What's going on? Good to see you in there as always. Theo in the chat. Thank you, Theo.
Thank you,
Prophet
Theo.
won.
Prophet.
That was a winnable game, Prophet won. I agree with you. Absolutely. Definitely. So they'll bounce back, though. No problem. Good spot right now at 13-10 after 23 games. Phil W.
Hello, Phil.
It's like he heard us speak Kelly Oubre's name, and he just and he just jumped right in there, and he's the agent for Kelly Oubre.
Vinny didn't agree with anything I said about Embiid, but we love you, Vince.
He says, excited for this team, even at the end of the day. So good to see that. What up, Vinny? Good to see Vinny in there in the chat. A couple people were like, Vin, where you been? Vinny was like, I've been here. I've been in the chat. Been in the chat. Always good to see our guy Vince in there. And everybody who checked in, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Really appreciate D'Angelo, Noor, Lore, also in the chat. Thank you so much for checking out, hanging out with us on this late night, on this Sunday night. We really appreciate it. Make sure you check in tomorrow at 3 p.m. for the team as they bring you kind of a recap, I'm sure, mailbag maybe even, because of everything that has gone on so far through the first 23 games. And also, you got the Birds taking on the Los Angeles Chargers tomorrow night. Make sure you are in here for the pregame, the halftime show, and the postgame show. Pregame beginning right around 7:30, I believe, 7:35, somewhere around there. And Rich will also have the world's best newsletter that's out there. Make sure you are with us at allphly.com to get the recap from tonight's game from Kyle, Rich's newsletter as well, and all of the Eagles content, hockey, and Phillies as well at allphly.com. Bree, thank you so much. You're the best. As always, hit the like button, everybody, for Bree. Like and subscribe. And when you do,
leave a comment too.
Hit the bell icon, and the bell will let you know that it is, in fact, showtime. And you leave us a comment to let us know how we did. Also, go check out our conversation with Michael Redd as well. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. Everybody, from the Sixers side. We'll see you tomorrow at 3. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you next time right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. Good night.
We all silly like the mayor.